Ready?
With the DC-4 safely away, Rod McBrien slips out for an important appointment.
Yeah, okay, good.
He and wife Sasha are having a 3D ultrasound of their unborn baby. And like any new parents, they're nervous.
Kind of scary at first.
Baby's head is right here.
I think it is definitely a mother's worry or a parent's worry till the baby's born. You know that everything's okay.
And that's the head. The top. Does he have really large lips? That's his eyes, his nose, his full lips.
I mean, his lip looks like Vikings, but
He's smiling. That's really good, right? That is so cute. Did you see that? See that big smile.
I don't know if it's a smile.
Everything's looking A-OK, and their relief inspires a plan.
We really wanted the DVD because we hadn't told anybody that we were going to get the 3D ultrasound. And the families are both pretty excited.
We're gonna show them these pictures and DVD. I think it's a pretty cool surprise.
After a day of setbacks, Buffalo's DC-4 finally makes it to Hay River. With its cargo capacity of 20,000 pounds, it's the edge that Buffalo has desperately needed for this emergency airlift. It's all hands on deck. Even 67-year-old Chief Pilot Arnie Schrader pushes pallets.
You need a strap in there, boys, or?
It's been a long day.
I don't know if it's the airplane or the operator, Arnie, but okay, you're not allowed to drive anymore. Get out of the way, I'm driving.
Packed to the ceiling, the DC-4 is ready to head home. With another 18-wheeler full of freight for Yellowknife, Justin will have to race back for one last load before his duty day runs out.
Today worked perfect. Everything worked perfect. So it doesn't get any better than
this. But back in the Yellowknife cargo terminal,
Can just separate it later. It's been a freaking gun show today.
with two more massive loads of cargo still to come in on the DC-4, for Janelle, it ain't over yet. Buffalo's river shuttle is winding down. The last load of freight from Hay River is on its way to Yellowknife. But at the Yellowknife cargo terminal, Janelle Glenn is still going full tilt to try to keep up with the massive backlog.
I'm f***ing exhausted today.
She's moved mountains of cargo so far, and there's still one more plane to come.
Certainly, there's no hurry to try to break this.
The DC-4 is back with the last 20,000 pounds.
It can be a nightmare, it can be a gong show, but at the end of the day, these people depend on you. It's not just something that you can be like, oh, whatever, I guess they didn't get their milk today.
I think it's the first time in Buffalo history down there. It took all day and half the night to do freight.
And there's some good news about the river ferry.
We just got word that the ferry's going in tomorrow. We moved 100,000 pounds in one day. That's freaking awesome for last minute.
By tomorrow, because of Buffalo, Arctic outposts will get their provisions on time. After 24 hours from hell, The McBrien clan gathers for a much-needed break the next day in Hay River. A rare family dinner hosted by Joe's daughter Kathy and her husband Fraser.
No phones ringing during dinner.
Yeah, I realize it's been crap. Kathy and Fraser always put on a good dinner party. They prep, they serve, they keep the whole flow going.
They don't make anybody do dishes.
For a family that works together every day, the McBriens don't often sit down for a meal together.
Oh my God, look at that.
That's why I didn't go to work this morning. I've been up since 5 preparing.
Yeah, right.
The only non-family member at this gathering is Mikey's girlfriend Gail.
Gail is an amazing, amazing person, and we both wonder every day why she's even with me, because we're like the original odd couple. We have absolutely nothing in common at all. My family likes her better than they like me. Yeah, she gets invited to family dinners where they just forget to invite me.
Yeah, don't scare her off. We want to keep Gail around. I just want Mikey to marry her now, before she clues and leaves.
But tonight, it's all about grandchildren. With Kathy's kids in their teens,
So,
Rod and Sasha's baby will be the first McBrien grandchild in 15 years.
we already have good.
Buffalo Joe and especially White Sharon are anxious for the wait to be over.
Sharon is pacing for us for this baby. She can't wait.
We're going to have a grandchild, so we're looking forward to that.
And the family will get a glimpse of the new baby sooner than they think.
Well, we have a surprise video for you guys. So, if you want to come downstairs and watch it.
Jasper, I'm babysitting Jasper. Come on. Go for the truck, right?
Come on, Dad. You can do it.
I'm getting the guilt thing here.
Okay, here's baby Eddie. Can you see him?
Oh, look at the baby. Oh, it's Sasha.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There.
That's a no?
There's two hands. Oh, good. I think Joe's very excited about Rod having a baby. I think he's been waiting a long time.
And in just over a month, the wait will be over, and the newest McBrien will meet the family.
Oh, there's the smile.
On this episode of Ice Pilots, Buffalo springs into action when disaster strikes Haiti.
There's a lot of suffering down there.
Chuck clashes with the pilot when he tackles a problem his way.
Don't with Chuck.
And Audrey returns, but lands in a hot seat beside Joe.
We're way off.
Buffalo Airways is scrambling to free a snowbound cargo plane from its cold storage. It's been on ice since work dried up 6 months ago. But today, Buffalo got a call about a catastrophe almost 6,000 kilometers away.
As most of the population of predators knows that there's a massive earthquake in Haiti, and we really thought we were under the scope of being able to help.
An aviation contact in Miami sent an SOS to Buffalo to help in the relief effort. Buffalo has 30 warplanes and cargo haulers that can land on almost any airstrip.
Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We're just a little green airline, and we're invited to the big show.
But the ideal plane is nowhere near ready to fly.
This stuff always happens when you have a major earthquake like that. Everybody's pulling everybody for an airplane.
The plan is for Buffalo to fly to Miami and then shuttle relief supplies to
our normal envelope of operations. You gotta be very, very flexible and do what is needed at that time.
And the first step is getting the L-188 Lockheed Electra out of its frigid parking spot.
We should have never shut it down.
The Electra's chief engineer, Chuck Adams, has to check all the components on this plane in record time.
I just showed this off a week ago.
Chuck knows every bolt and rivet on Buffalo's most modern plane. The 50-year-old 4-engine turboprop Electra is loaded with electronic features not found on Buffalo's older radial engine planes.
You don't learn it overnight. 15 or 10 years before I actually really knew the airplane quite well.
On the surface, Chuck is very abrasive and very colorful.
Some people get offended. Well, too bad. If you worry about what's going on in the world and all the stuff saying.
But when it gets down to fixing things on a budget, Chuck is one of the best in the world.
I'm going to try and back my head a little bit. Just see if I can.
But the Electra is in no hurry to go anywhere. Its wheels are frozen square and refusing to budge.
Now,
Chuck calls for extra power and lines up for round 2. Finally, the Electra lurches forward. They've smacked the wing right into the side of the hangar. This fender bender has left a minor dent. And it's a delay they just don't need. Because now, the real job begins. After months buried in the snow, every major system has to be inspected and brought up to spec to get the Electra fit to handle the relief mission to Haiti.
you call electrical man. Look at this shit. There's wires hanging everywhere.
The Electra went into service as a between passenger liner in 1959. Its turboprop engines use gas turbines to drive the propellers, the same kind of turbine that creates propulsion in a jet engine. By the mid-1960s, those more advanced jets had taken over passenger travel. The Electra was out of date after just a few years in service. Production ended, and the Electra's brief heyday was over. But at Buffalo, it's the most modern and fastest plane in the fleet. Pressurized, it can fly at higher altitudes, where thinner air offers less resistance. Right now, Buffalo needs to get an Electra crew up to speed.
Okay, I guess we're gonna do the big shuffle here.
Enter former Buffalo Electra captain Brian Harrison.
Well, we're just getting the guys organized. You're gonna move the C-46, you're gonna move the DC-3, then we're gonna pull the Electra out.
He's up from his home in Edmonton to retrain the flight crew. Because there's no one at Buffalo with an up-to-date Electra license.
Like we have to do recurrent training every 6 months. We gotta do an instrument ride and a 5-foot proficiency ride every year, and our time is up.
I wanted to do this training a long time ago. But this is what happens. Stuff comes up and then it's fully current.
With no Electra jobs in the last 6 months, Joe hasn't kept the pilot certified to fly it, because training runs cost big money.
The airplane burns about 2,500 liters an hour, and I think the fuel cost here is around $1.70 a liter for turbo fuel. So that means we're burning pretty near $4,500 an hour.
It's inflow, outflow. If you shit more than you eat, you'll shit yourself to death. So be sure you have lots of flow coming in.
Now that there is finally some potential cash flow, Brian needs to get the crew ready. He's just back from a 4-month contract flying jetliners in Saudi Arabia.
Sure doesn't look like a 747. The world is much different. 747, you wear a uniform and you walk on the airplane and it gets loaded for you and unloaded for you. And it's a little bit different world. You do just about everything that has to be done to get the airplane going. I've flown this an awful lot, so it's kind of like riding a bicycle.
But only if the Electra is fit to fly. And that's what they're about to find out.
the electric is ready, and then we can see if we can try to get the electric down for this humanitarian work into Haiti.
The crew does a complete system check.
Start number 4, please. Been cleared to the ice pad, is that correct?
They taxi out to where they can run up the plane's engines at full throttle to make sure she's ready to fly.
The brakes are set.
Okay, all right, so mid horsepower number 4 was what?
If everything checks out with the plane, they'll start retraining the crew tomorrow so they can be in Haiti as soon as possible.
Yeah, horsepower calculate. 3650 torque key rise. Retard power lever to RPM reaches 13,820. Okay, full reverse and fuel flow reduction.
Pretty awesome for sitting around for so long.
The verdict is in. The Electra is in excellent shape.
Actually, I'd go do Tiffany right now and not think twice about it.
Oh yeah.
But Ryan's about to get a nasty surprise. A problem that no mechanic can fix. After slogging it out here for 3 of the coldest months of the year, Chris is next in line to move across the lake to Yellowknife, where Rampy can actually get a shot at flying.
Justin, who's flying Skid this week, came over and approached me and told me some good news. He said, hey, you know what, Chris? You're moving up to Yellowknife. And you know what else? You got about a week to figure it out.
Chris needs to make sure the new guy is trained to shoulder his share of the load before moving on, and hopefully up.
So you can, if you pull back just a little bit, it'll go like millimeters at a time. Looking good, Richard? Good, you're good. The last thing you want to do is put the forks to the side of Joe's plane.
You did good. Good Brent.
But 2,000 kilometers away, there's a wild card headed straight for Yellowknife. Audrey Marchand is on her way back to Buffalo, and that could scuttle the plans of ranchers like Chris, who hope to be moving up the ranks.
I went back home for about 3 months, and now I'm
And she was one of Buffalo Joe's favorite employees. But some people thought she had an unfair advantage in the Rampy Rally to move up to a pilot job.
If there's anybody who's gonna jump somebody in line, it's a girl.
Back in the fall, Audrey returned to Quebec for the birth of her new baby sister.
well, my mom had kind of health problem, and my sister too.
The other Rampies thought Audrey was gone for good. Now they're scared she might jump them in line.
Crap, what's it?
But sometimes, small problems can be the worst kind.
From a mechanical perspective, it's not too bad so far.
This airplane is a lot more challenging than the old ones, I'll tell you that.
From an electrical perspective,
It's a nightmare.
it's a nightmare.
Replacing one faulty gauge is taking all day.
It's got 40-year-old wires in the thing now, and they're all getting old and brittle. So every time you move one little thing, pull like 3 or 4 more things break. There's another broken wire right there. Chuck as a teacher is a phenomenal person to learn from. He's got a lot of experience. He's got a semi-can-do attitude. There's more wire in here than I got pubic hair.
All Joe wants is to join in the relief effort in Haiti.
You seen Ernie?
But he's hit a major snag.
Are you okay to train, or is there a problem?
Dave Smith, he's just sending me an email now. He says, because I didn't do a loft in November, that my PPC is not valid.
His phone number.
Simply put, Brian is missing a single 1-hour training session. That makes his electro license as expired as everyone else's.
Yeah, I drove with Brian Buffalo Yellowknife. Well, I'm trying to find out from the horse's mouth why Brian can't train my crew, because it appears he's missed some 6 month, 1 hour something. Oh yeah, I understand that. Well, waive it.
But government regulator Transport Canada isn't budging. Without Brian to train the crew, the entire mission to Haiti could be over before it even begins.
Frustrating. That's the way to put it. The currency, I do not have at this minute a training captain to train anybody. So I would suggest that we put everything on hold and we all go home, put the airplane back in the snowbank till I figure this out.
A new day at Buffalo. The Electra is ready to go. It's been called to help airlift supplies to the millions of people suffering from the devastating earthquake in Haiti.
It's all right there. A good engineer would have had that thing.
Yeah, the airplane's ready now.
But there are still several issues to resolve.
There's paperwork, there's customs, and you're dealing with 3 different countries. You got Canada, you got US, and you got Haiti. There's a lot of ducks you gotta have in a row.
And the biggest obstacle is getting the Electra crew recertified right away. Fortunately, a pilot who can do the Electra proficiency rides has been found.
Standard IFR maneuvers, holds, and approaches, and then we'll integrate some basic emergency procedures as well as failures and fires, all simulated, of course, just for crew training purposes.
It will take a few days of flying to recertify. Major distance.
Phone call from the people that are organizing the relief effort for Haiti, and as it turns out right now, they're up to their capacity of aircraft. They basically every available aircraft in the world